Hey everybody, Phantom Ryu, and in this video, which looks remarkably similar to the previous video that I just posted, and there goes my air conditioner. In this video I wanted to talk about Mass Effect 3, because I just finished the game this morning, making this video now about 9:15, 9:20 at night. I finished it this morning before I went to class. I have a lot of mixed feelings about Mass Effect 3. I think that overall it was a good game. It was a little more confusing than Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 managed to give you all these missions that you could do, and it was very clear that you were free to do them in whatever order you wanted. I felt a little lost in the beginning of Mass Effect 3, not necessarily because I didn't know what to do, but because the plot was a little sparse in the beginning. I mean, it picked up and everything came together pretty well. I thought it was a fitting end to the series in that everybody that you encountered, all the decisions that you made, you know, whether you saved the Rachni Queen in Mass Effect 1, a lot of things, and everyone who survived the suicide mission in Mass Effect 2 was back, and they had a story and a part to play in Mass Effect 3, and I thought that was great. My problem, however, was in the way the game ended. Spoiler alert, if you have not played Mass Effect 3 and you don't want the ending spoiled, I'm about to spoil it for you big time. So you may want to just skip ahead to the next video if you don't want it spoiled, because I can't talk about the ending of Mass Effect 3 without some severe spoilers. Little pause, just in case people are trying to find the button to, the back button, or type in a new address so they don't get spoiled. Okay. So since 2007, I think, or was it 2006? I think it's 2007 the original Mass Effect came out. And that game came out while I was deployed to Iraq, and I actually did not have time. I had my 360 with me in Iraq, but wasn't able to put in the amount of time it would have taken to beat Mass Effect 1. So I didn't actually play Mass Effect 1 until probably about 6 months before Mass Effect 2 came out. So you've been playing this game for 5 years, and you've been playing the same character for 5 years. This isn't like a sequel where, it's not like, say, Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2, where, yeah, you're playing the same character, but, you're Ryu Hayabusa in Ninja Gaiden. What are you going to do? You're going to run around, you're going to kill a bunch of shit, and you're going to beat some big bad guy at the end. Yeah, it's the same story every time. In contrast, in Mass Effect 3, not only were you playing the same character for 5 years, essentially, all of the story was connected, and the choices that you made way back in Mass Effect 1 created a new story. And kudos to BioWare for creating a universe that was so large and a game with so many choices, and having those choices actually mean something and giving you a great connection to those characters. And then at the end of the game, the whole time, your whole goal throughout the entire series has been, we need to stop the Reapers. And I don't know about y'all, but I was prepared to make a decision and find some way to destroy the Reapers and just remove them from the galaxy, remove them from the universe, and have some kind of happy ending. Mass Effect 3 doesn't give you that. And I do like the way it gives you 3 choices, depending on how well you did and what your military strength was at the end of the game. You get up to 3 choices on a first game playthrough. You can either try to control the Reapers like the elusive man, you can destroy the Reapers, or if you had sufficient military strength, you could create a synthesis between organics and synthetics. None of these was remotely satisfying, because if you destroy the Reapers, you die. If you control the Reapers, you die. Well, okay, you don't necessarily die if you destroy the Reapers, but once you make that choice to destroy the Reapers, you see the Reapers being destroyed, and what? There's no satisfying conclusion. Like, you know, if you had stayed faithful to Liara the entire time, and you don't get to reunite with Liara and live happily ever after, which most of the time that wouldn't be a huge deal, but with a character that we've spent so much time creating, it feels like a bit of a letdown, and I was not terribly thrilled with the way that ended in that regard. Excuse me. So let me address another thing that I've heard about the Mass Effect endings, and that is that the entire time that you are, either from the time that Harbinger's laser hits Earth and you're knocked out, or from the time where you pass out after fighting off the elusive man, however you do that, that the rest of the ending is simply a hallucination that is a byproduct of the Reaper's indoctrination of Commander Shepard, and of course by extension the Reaper's indoctrination of you. And that the secret ending, where it shows a close-up of Commander Shepard, who we assume to be Commander Shepard because he or she is laying down with the burnt armor, the N7 dog tags hanging out, and you see an intake of breath, implying that, you know, Commander Shepard is still alive and somehow back on Earth. A lot of people say, well, this means that everything you just did was a hallucination, and BioWare/EA has a downloadable content pack ready to go that'll give you the true ending to the game. There's a part of me that hopes that's true, and there's a part of me that hopes that isn't true. If it is, and EA tries to charge us for the actual ending to the game, that would be crossing the line that I mentioned was coming in some of my previous videos about downloadable content, and that there is a line that can be crossed. If the game company thinks that we're going to pay full retail price for a game and expect it to be complete and expect it to have a complete ending, and then they want to sell us downloadable content for the true ending, that's too far. That's too much. Or if it weren't too much, the initial price of the game would have to be lowered. Episodic games have been done before, such as the Back to the Future games on PlayStation Network. So an episodic game is not that bad, but don't make us pay full retail price. That's a line that, especially because we wouldn't have gotten a complete game, you know, it's pay $60 for the full retail release and then pay us another $10 to $20 for the real ending. That would be too far, and that is something that I hope isn't true. If the theories are right and all of this is a hallucination and there is a real ending to be had, I would hope that EA would provide it to us for free. And I still wouldn't have a problem if EA put it behind, you know, the type of, if only if you bought the game new paywall do you get the ending for $10. I never buy used games ever, so that isn't an issue for me. But I do understand that some people would have a problem with that if you don't have the money to shell out for new releases, and then they decide, oh, in order to get the real ending to the game, you have to have bought the game new or paid an additional $10. That's real close to being across the line for me, too. If it's not advertised beforehand, which it would not have been in this case. But I was really disappointed in the ending of Mass Effect 3, because at least as it stands right now, there doesn't appear to be a way to get the quote-unquote fairy tale, storytale, you know, real happy ending that I think a lot of us at least wanted the option to get in Mass Effect 3. Multiple different endings are great, and as a matter of fact, if the game didn't have multiple endings, it would kind of fly in the face of everything that the Mass Effect games have done so far, in that everything's based on choices and choices you make, and if they didn't give you multiple choices at the end, that would be, that just wouldn't be right. So multiple endings were great, but I really thought they should have given us the opportunity to have that quote-unquote perfect, happy ending, and they really didn't give that to us. Now I understand that yes, if you destroy the Reapers and Shepard's still alive, there's a possibility. Well, I would have liked to have seen that. If anyone remembers, say, the ending to Final Fantasy VII or the ending to Final Fantasy VI, back in the days when Square actually knew how to make a good Final Fantasy game, the endings were great. They tied up everything, they were nice and happy, and everything worked out all right for the heroes. That's something I wish we had had the option to do in Mass Effect 3. And so for that reason, I'm really disappointed in the way it ended. Excuse me. Not used to talking for this long at a time. But really wish we'd had that type of option. And because we didn't, I feel a little cheated in a series that I put an incredible amount of time through. I'm sure I played through the first game 3 or 4 times. I played through Mass Effect 2 at least 3 or 4 times. And now I'm questioning if I'm going to even do a second playthrough of Mass Effect 3. Because for all of the work I put into it, I did every single side mission in the game. I did not level up my galactic readiness through the multiplayer, which I know you could do, but I wanted to keep it single player for that playthrough. I am going to play through the multiplayer and get some of the achievements through the multiplayer. I like the multiplayer, but I didn't like the idea of having to play the multiplayer to boost up your galactic readiness rating. But I maxed out. I met the conditions that you have to get the best ending. Well, obviously I got the synthesis ending, which you have to have maxed out your galactic readiness to get. But I'm really questioning whether it's worth it to play through another one. Very disappointed in the ending, and post your comments below, let me know how you feel, and talk to you guys later. Thanks.